Thank you for tuning in to the Editors Roundtable Podcast. I am Michael Sanders, your host, and we have
Rabbia.
Yeah, audience, I just totally messed that up after she just told me. But in the history of the podcast, y'all know I mess up everybody's name when they first come along to the show. But Rabbia.
Yes, it's Rabbia.
Rabbia. Rabbia.
You're doing
I said Rabbia.
Rabbia.
Yeah, Rabbia.
Rabbia.
Yeah, it's my southern accent.
You're okay. You're good. I've gotten the funniest pronunciations. I cannot believe.
Welcome.
Thank you
to the staff.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully she will be my co-host because she says she loves to talk.
I do. It's what I'm known for.
So let the audience know about yourself.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Rabbia, as we've clearly stated. I'm 19 years old. This is my second year here at TCC. I'm an English Lit major, and I've just recently started working at the Collegian. So I'm very excited to be able to kind of see everything that TCC has to offer. My very first year was all online. So obviously this is my first time really exploring the campus, seeing all of the opportunities that there are for students. I was introduced to the Collegian during my freshman year when I participated in an online poetry slam. And then I was interviewed for a piece that the Collegian did on it. So yeah, I love writing. I love reading. I am a very, very avid reader. It makes me super happy to be able to see other people's works of arts and then get to interpret them in my own way. And yeah, I'm loving the whole staff so far at the Collegian. Everybody's been super nice, and Alex has been amazing.
What's your position?
I am a campus editor at the Collegian, so I'm really excited because we get to do a lot of different things. I didn't even realize all of the different things that come along with the position. We're able to go to different campuses and cover different stories and meet lots of new people. Yeah.
And I will say this. The young lady can eat 8 chicken wings.
Thank you.
That's the qualification.
I am very proud of my chicken wing skills. I'm not even ashamed of it. I love me some chicken wings.
And that's why she will hopefully be the co-host starting next week.
I'm very glad that I meet your qualifications, Mike.
Chicken wings and things,
That's the new name.
That's the new name of the podcast. Chicken wings and things.
Chicken wings and things. All right, let's kick it off. Eeny, meeny, miny.
I'll start.
What's your story for the week, sir?
So I am writing an editorial about the
Uyghur.
Yeah. My stutter would not allow me to say that word. And the crisis of what's going on in that people group, and that it's connected to the Winter Olympics, and how they think that because they allowed a Uyghur person to light the torch, like it's okay. We're just gonna completely ignore half a decade of mass genocide that's been happening around that area. And then my other story is I did a feature piece on an event that happened last Wednesday, called the Black Barbershop. They had a panel of people just talking about their experience about what the Black Barbershop means to them, and it's not just a place to get your haircut. It's a lot more than that.
Being a black man and one who goes to the barbershop, it's kind of a safe space where we can congregate and just talk about things. Therapy and counseling in the black community is kind of looked down upon, And especially being a black man, so that's where we go and vent, and we can talk about stuff, dialogue, even get lottery numbers, or, find shoes. But yeah, that's pretty much what the barbershop is for. So, next story.
Do you have a story in this?
Well, I actually, my first story is going to be featured in the March 2nd paper, which is coming up.
You have an opinion piece.
I do have an opinion piece. That is correct.
Yeah. For some reason, she just joined the staff this week, and I thought she had a story which would have been asinine, but
I did help come up with the idea for Austin's editorial this week, though.
Well, let's see if I press the right button. Hold on.
I hope that's the wrong button, Mike.
I said, let me see if I'm gonna press the right button.
You're offending the queen of chicken wings.
Look, hold on. Okay, let's see if we press another button.
Try the blue one.
That works. That works.
I don't think that's exactly what you were going for. Try the blue one. The other blue one.
The other one.
That one's turquoise.
That was the want.
Are you sure? No, you hit the purple for that.
No, that's like a trap beat, I think.
Oh yeah.
That ain't trap, but yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the yellow?
Maybe just make the sound.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, so
got there in the end.
Thank you for that suggestion, and I was able to do a lot more research into that, and I learned a lot.
I'm glad. I'm really glad you liked the topic.
Yeah, I do, and it was a lot of fun to write it as well.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I had a really good time helping edit with Jose a lot too. That was so much fun.
When I came in, you were speaking on I think what was going on in France.
Yes.
Can you give us a little insight on that?
Absolutely. So this is kind of what my opinion piece is going to be on for the next issue in March. And basically what the issue was that French Vogue posted a photo on their Instagram of Julia Fox, I believe. She was wearing a scarf around her head, and the caption said, "Yes to the headscarf." Now, for those who don't know, wearing a headscarf or a hijab as a Muslim woman is illegal in France. It is banned. You are not allowed to do it in France. But when a white woman is wearing a scarf around her head as a fashion statement, it's seen as high fashion and beautiful, and it's so acceptable that they literally posted "yes to the headscarf" as their caption. And obviously when people saw this, there was outrage all over social media of the double standard that they were creating in the fashion industry, so they immediately got rid of the caption and they changed it. It's just really difficult, especially growing up in the States where European countries and European fashion has such an influence on the fashion industry in the U.S. For young people growing up who are Muslim, who want to wear the hijab or who do wear the hijab, it's very difficult to see these things and know that if I wanted to go to France, if I wanted to explore the fashion industry there, I wouldn't be welcome. Native people who are born in France, French citizens who are Muslims, are not welcome because of a piece of clothing that they are wearing on their heads. And it makes no sense. Because if that woman isn't Muslim, then that piece of clothing is seen as just that, a piece of clothing. But if she's a Muslim, then it's seen as a dangerous sign. The double standard is awful. And it's become so widely used in mainstream media. Like, so many models, Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid, they've been, photographed wearing headscarves, and everybody's just like, oh my God, so beautiful. There was even recently a TikTok trend that went viral where girls would imitate old French films and wear headscarves and, sunglasses and go out, and it's so pretty. But if I do it because that's my culture, because that's my religion, because that's my choice first and foremost, it's dangerous. It's wrong.
Audience, you see how she just went into detail and just articulated that. You see why she's the co-host. First day, she's the co-host. So get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
Wood.
Is it that one?
No, I picked
Okay.
the right.
Oh, okay.
Get ready. Alex, did you have anything this week?
I got an opinion piece.
Okay.
Yeah, for the 223 issue, I have an opinion piece on how short-form media and podcasts nowadays have become integral parts of men spreading misogyny. It's not, let's do the whole preface now. It's not every man, it's not every podcast, it's not et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a very niche community on both TikTok and on Spotify, anywhere where you get podcasts. There's a niche community that gives the alpha male culture, which is you have to be the alpha, you have to be dominant, you have to be able to take charge, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you can show no weakness to anyone except your own guy friends. And that is a very dangerous culture. And one of the main places that you see it now is on TikTok and on podcasting, especially with dating advice. These alpha males will, in quotations, will go ahead and give dating advice to young men who are looking for maybe some direction on how to meet women, how to set up dates, et cetera, et cetera. And the rhetoric that they use is incredibly harmful to not only the women that they're trying to communicate with, but also to themselves. The type of toxic masculinity that's so common and seen as powerful within these groups is detrimental to their compassion. They push for stoicism and separation of emotions rather than communication and empathy with their partners. They refer to women who are trying to figure out how they relate in the world and how they relate to their partner in such almost animal terms. Like, one of the main ones that I'm thinking that comes to mind is on TikTok. There's this man called Russell Hartley. He gives dating advice in suits, and he goes in front of a mirror and starts talking to men, his male audience, to try and give them advice. He has what he refers to as a stable, which is a rotation of women that he calls upon for sex. And then whenever the women start to question whether or not, is this going to go forward? Are you serious about that? He lets them go to greener pastures, as if demeaning the woman for just questioning where she's going through with her future.
So, I mean, let me ask you this with this Russell guy. Is he upfront with them from the jump, or?
Well, up front with what?
I mean, just, no. I mean,
Is he overt in saying that he hates women? No.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
In the relationship. Is he open about what kind of relationship he's looking for?
Here's the thing, they're usually not. The way that they go about it's not even just Russell Hartley. It's also with the Fresh and Fit podcast. Do you know of them?
Yeah, they kind of. Yeah, I don't agree with the Fresh and Fit podcast. I have my own reason, because they're the Fresh and Fit podcast, and you talk about this alpha male culture.
Yeah.
And they try to portray what they do, but it's a whole nother issue with them because they've been exposed before.
Yeah.
So,
I don't see the whole point of like alpha male culture and dating gurus is that at its core, it's uplifting men at the degradation of women, which, in my opinion, from what I've seen, right?
Yeah.
It's all like men trying to find their place in humanity, but they're trying to find it at the detriment to others, which is not the correct way to go about that. If you want to be comfortable with yourself, you have to start with yourself, not on how you treat other people.
And I think one of the main things that really worries me about the fact that they have these conversations on TikTok, like Alex and me were discussing previously, is that majority of the audience on TikTok is going to be young kids, young adults who are just starting to get into the dating scene, just starting to, like people and this and that. And the narrative that they're pushing is that anything a woman does for herself, to feel good about herself, whether that be posting on social media, whether that be hanging out with her friends, whether that be, stating an opinion that may be different than theirs, that's considered incorrect. You shouldn't do anything I don't like. You shouldn't do anything that lifts you up, because if you do that, that's cheating for a woman. But what they say is, for me as a man, anything that I do that's physical, whatever it may be, that doesn't count as cheating because, oh, I'm a man.
Yeah.
That's a very harmful narrative to be pushing to young kids, especially young men and women who are just now trying to learn about what it means to be in a relationship, what it means to treat a partner with respect. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons why, I look at it from the aspect of I'm a big advocate for the need for sexual education in Texas. I've done a lot of research on it. I've wrote different papers about it. And a lot of what, if you speak to people who are advocates for sexual education, a lot of what it is that they're trying to push is how to treat a partner in a relationship. Not exactly in like the full sexual term, but how to be compassionate with one another, how to open up to your feelings.
Communicate.
And there's nothing wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a man and communicating with your partner. The fact that they're pushing this narrative that I as a man can do whatever I want and I shouldn't have to explain myself to you, it's unhealthy.
Yeah. Another part of it is they do push that you shouldn't do it. But another part that they push is that you should only be able to do it with other men rather than your partner. And that is incredibly dangerous. One of the main things that keeps a relationship alive and healthy is communication. And if your relationship starts with the basis of I can't communicate with you because that'll make me lesser, that'll just make it harmful for both of you in the long run.
That is true, but I'm speaking from experience, 38 years.
Yeah.
All right. That mentality goes off due to the fact some women will, if you try to communicate with them and express what's going on, they will tell their friends. They will, how can I say, use it for like a draw four card in a relationship. Let's say if you have an argument and hey, well, I have these issues because I'm just putting this hypothetical situation with a male.
Yeah.
Hey, I was molested as a child.
Okay.
Some women,
it's that same thing with me. Some men,
some women,
yeah,
will hold that
as a card. Yeah. That I knew. Genuinely, I've seen that. I've seen that so many times. And
like I said,
careful.
With like you said, it's a community that started from another community. Like the guys you're talking about, they regurgitate the information so much that it's just like you said,
it's a cycle.
It's toxic because it's some men out there. Yeah. That show that if men don't have men to talk to, how to conduct yourself as men or whatever. Like you were saying with the guy, he keeps it stable in rotation. Now, if he's not honest with none of those women,
or here's the thing. I think from the videos I saw, he would be telling half truths. Like he would say, "Oh, I have other partners," but he wouldn't. I don't think he'd go into detail about it. This is me just making that hypothetical from what I saw in his videos.
I mean, if a man or a woman, deal with other people and they're honest and open about it, then that's totally fine.
Yeah, but here's the thing: in this alpha male culture, if women are open about that, they're seen as less. I've heard so many times a woman's value is based on how many people she's slept with. And I had to do so much research for this, and I think I felt myself becoming terrible as a human being. But they're like, one of the main things that they push is that a man builds his value, a woman's always depreciates. She's set with her value while a man has to build it.
Now, that's not this. Okay.
What? Boy, you better be careful about this.
Right. Okay. That mentality, it comes from when women turn 18. And it's a theory. When women turn 18, they have the world at the palm of their hands. I said theory.
Okay.
And with men, when men turn 18, if you don't have a solid background or anything like that, or you come from something that can help you evolve or whatever, then you start at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
And you have to work yourself up. Now, with the depreciation thing, it is not from a sexual value.
For the way they say it, that's how they.
That's the regurgitation going on.
Yeah.
The regurgitation. Now, baggage. And men and women can have baggage too.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
But a baggage is accumulated throughout those years where I guess some women are dating. Again, some women are dating. And they tend to bring that into other relationships.
Well, everyone's going to bring baggage into other relationships.
But, hold on, let me finish it. Some women.
Okay.
Again, some women. So the baggage. Have you ever heard the term? You can't date women in their early 30s.
No.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be a woman in my early 30s. I don't think somebody wants to tell me that.
That deals with, that's been in a lot of relationships. And they've been fed a fairy tale that, you're supposed to be married at 30 and stuff like this. Like, you're supposed to have the American dream at 30. And when you don't have the American dream at 30, then it's all...
You failed.
It's all crashing down.
Yeah.
And that's where the narrative comes from.
Yeah.
It's like, bam, she got hit with this reality check that, everything isn't what it seems. Whereas a man, he did this, he's been shoveling shit all this time, and now he's he's building himself up. And not saying women don't build their stuff up either. Not saying that. But men are building themselves up. He doesn't, girls, women didn't want him. Women didn't want him. He didn't date. And now he's at his 30s, right? Yeah. And now he's looked at, since he may be a boss now, or he may be, he's at his peak, not peak, but he's at, how can I say it?
A plateau?
No, it's not a plateau. Because he just got his.
At his peak?
Peak, yeah. He's at his A game now.
A game, that's it.
And, that's where the whole term, where some women like older men, that's where that narrative comes from.
That comes from inherent,
emotional. Yeah. I think if I can just interject real fast, I'm going to give you sort of my opinion. I'm a 19-year-old girl growing up in the 21st century. My personal experience when it comes to the young men in my generation, there's two sides of it. There's people who think this way, that, I as a man, I make the rules and, I need to be the one who is doing all the things and this and that. And then there's the men who kind of are trying to understand. They're trying to come to the understanding of what it is they want from a relationship or whatever it may be. Now, what you were talking about earlier, women who use things against their partners that they've said, that's absolutely wrong. Yeah. That's one thing about me. Where it is wrong, it is wrong. It doesn't matter, man, woman, otherwise. That's incorrect. And that goes back to the maturity level of your partner. If they're doing that, then that they're just not a mature person. They shouldn't be in a mature relationship in the first place. Yeah. However, I think this narrative of a person's sexual experience and how that reflects in their, I guess, their value as a human being when it comes to them in a relationship, there is definitely a disconnect when it comes to men and women. Yeah. I mean, just when you think about it, if a guy is dating multiple people, if he's had multiple relations with multiple women, he's cool, he's a stud, oh my God, you can pull any girl you want. If a girl goes and does the same thing, she's a slut, she's a whore. How could you do that? How dare you? And that shouldn't be the case. I think that's part of the internalized misogyny that is so deeply ingrained in everybody, is that when we see that, we're like, oh, she must have loose... I think that's one of the things that everybody has to work on in their own mind, that you have to work through. There is no such thing as a slut. There is no such thing as a whore. If somebody wants to gain sexual experience, if somebody wants to do that, and it's two willing, consensual partners, there is nothing wrong with that. And it shouldn't differ from men to women to non-binary people. It shouldn't make a difference. And if that's something that bothers you, like if you're looking for a relationship and you don't like that your partner has had, you know, more sexual partners than you have, that's something you need to have a conversation with them about. Yeah. It shouldn't include a third person.
And then coming back to relating that to the thing, the way that's really correct. I agree with Rabbia the whole way. But with the way that the way TikTok is pushing these videos, they're getting rid of that conversation. They're getting rid of just the even thought of having a conversation like that. Like, because these men, they're at their early 30s. They're not at their peak, though. They came to their early 30s and found out, I need to somehow better myself in a quick way. And that quick way is by putting other women down that they see as, I guess, the enemies to their own success, because they think, I don't know how to describe it. It's like they saw these people that they
hold on. I would say it's the okay. Growing up,
yeah,
and this was with some guys.
It's a new decade, though, my guy.
No. Listen to me. And
okay.
It just went on from not just for me. It's still going on, right? You have some guys that has this internal, no, I can never get any girl.
Yeah.
With no girl, so every girl was mean to me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's wrong to internalize that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, every woman is not the same. And this is your TikTok generation that's going on, you know, I can't say my generation because I don't use TikTok. You know what I'm saying? I think TikTok.
Better for you.
You know what I'm saying? TikTok is like, I'm like, what? Ugh. But you got this guy.
Yeah.
That gets rejected. And once he comes upon, stumbles upon
about
this
the TikToks, yeah, the dating gurus or whatever
like,
the hell.
Oh, it like, you might as well call those guys insults, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing cool. It's nothing cool about those guys at all. It's not, like I said, you just regurgitating information.
But they put up the front that they're cool. They wear like Russell Hartley. He wears Prada and Armani and shit like that.
It's overcompensating.
Of course it is. But the younger ones who are trying to learn and only have watched popular media, they're going to see that and think that's the perfect thing. Like, younger males are going to see men in like full Armani suits and be like, I want to be like that guy, and listen to him more because of that.
But at the flip side though, you have some women that like those guys.
Yeah, but I like well-dressed people as much as the next person, but I don't want them calling me sluts.
No. When I say well-dressed guys, I mean you have some of those women that like those guys like that. So the narrative get flipped. Hey, I gotta be an asshole.
Where do you think that comes from though? Because I'm gonna give you a quick insight.
Okay.
This all stems from, you remember when you were little and you'd go on the playground and some little Johnny would throw a rock at you and then everybody would be like, oh no, he must like you. Boys just don't know how to express. This, I think, is an issue. It's an inherent issue from the time we are kids, and I think a lot of it is the way that we treat young men. I'm going to put that out there. The narrative that boys shouldn't cry, the narrative that you should push down your feelings, that is so horrifying to do to a child.
Yeah.
I will stand by that. I think the fact that we treat and we teach young men to push down their feelings and to not talk about what they're going through, that's horrifying. And I think that's one of the main reasons why when men get to this place where they have had bad experiences or they don't understand how to, you know, express themselves and they can't go to therapy and they find people like this who are pushing this narrative of gaslighting women and how women are the ones doing, of course they're going to gravitate towards that. Of course they are. Because they've had this horrible experience, and that's completely understandable. Of course it is. Everyone's experience and the way that they internalize that, you can never deny that.
Let me say this. I didn't agree with any of how they treat women.
No, of course not. But here's the thing. As Rabbia said, it starts from so young, but you have to keep in mind, you always talk about experience. These new generations, if you don't know how TikTok does, if you stay on one of those videos for a second, maybe you look away for a hot second, that will put it into your algorithm. The way technology works is that it works with each other to exacerbate a situation. Yeah.
I'm not a dinosaur. I know how.
Well, I know, but no, the way these algorithms work, you put stuff in to get an extreme response, you get that extreme response, it filters back. So the more, even if one of these young men just sees maybe one of the lesser, not quite incel, more like, oh, you got a woman more likes it when you're more dominant. If you look at even one of those, that will put these in your feed. It'll take you on a steady downtrend so that you slowly go into that. And by the time you look up, you're in a trench. And if the young men don't realize how if any of us were to watch these videos, we'd obviously be like, oh, that's not correct, because we have the mindset to look back on that. But these young men who are watching these videos and have gone through that basically indoctrination don't know to look back. So
should TikTok censor these videos?
They already have. Fresh and Fit got banned. Russell Hartley got banned as well. So it's not enough. There's too much of a slippery slope, because the Fresh and Fit podcast got banned for I think a month. This is me, I don't remember specifics. They got banned, but now they're back. If you look at TikTok, you can find them again. Mm-hmm. So they'll get, and the thing is, they take those bannings and use it as a weapon, because they're like, oh, see, we got silenced. That means that we're doing something right if we're getting silenced, because a silent majority agrees with us, but the more loud majority, the radical feminists or something, went ahead and doxed us. So that's why you should listen to us more, because that means they want to censor us because of how a lot of people see popular media censorship now. They use it as a weapon to then further their rampant misogyny.
Right. Austin, do you have anything to say?
No.
Okay.
No comment from me.
Well, before we go, do you have any parting words? We can continue next week with part 2 to this discussion, but do you have any final words?
I think the only thing that I would like to say is, if you are a young person who is listening to this podcast and you are in a place where you're confused or you don't understand how to feel about certain situations, especially when it comes to forming a new relationship, I would take time to talk to real people in your life. Mm-hmm. Find somebody who you can speak to face. If it's not a parent or guardian or sibling, perhaps a teacher or advisor or school counselor, somebody who you can speak to face. Because I think the veil that social media has put on all of us is that you can't get the full story. You can't always understand everything that people need. So take advantage of the face-to-face contact if you can get it. Mm-hmm. And just try and form your own opinion. Don't always listen to everything that everyone else is saying.
Very well said.
You gonna say that during the clap, right?
Yep. I'm gonna interrupt it.
Anywho, thank you for tuning in to the Editors Roundtable podcast. We will be back next week, and I hope y'all have a great weekend, and we're out.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.